Alright, we're gonna pick up where we left off last time in the courtroom. We had just finished our summation examination for the first almost guilty verdict, and now we have to figure out exactly where to go from here, because our theory that Natsume went the other way is basically just completely wrong at this point. Continue. Ah, yes, these two. I love how cute her eyes are. What is it with Ace Attorney and having powerful women? Oh, gosh.
Constable Roller Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town hero's wife.
Thank you.
What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing on street lights.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet. I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beat, sir! Nothing to report on the street, sir! What a great witness he's gonna be. Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw in the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir!
Oh dear, somebody help him. He's gonna just fall over and die. What the witnesses saw.
It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the others scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are...
Uh-oh. Who's this? Quaternion J is now following.
Thank you for the follow! Should I just call you Jay? Or do you prefer Quaternion? Quater? Let me know what you prefer being called. But thank you for the follow, I appreciate it.
Let's see.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene. If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in effect, because that alternative was never viable in the first place.
What an unfortunate bit chancing, and on your wedding anniversary too. Jay's fine. Alright, thank you for letting me know, Jay. Welcome! You are right in the middle of the fourth case of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. You joined us right in the middle of it. So I hope you've played the game before, otherwise you might be a little bit confused.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the sea. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking.
Once again, Capcom out here making the most powerful women alive.
Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord.
Alright, we're just gonna press everything like it is the Ace Attorney way.
Hold it! No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. B?
Oh, no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, dear, darling?
Huh? Well, I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy.
Kindly adhere to the point. You're going for a meal after you'd finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, so yes, although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and the Queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir, proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it, as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty to patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plod in my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
This is attorney badge, basically, Jay.
So fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it, then. But, sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up with a lot, being married to a Bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care.
Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us.
Nice to see a happily married couple. You know what? You right. Especially after seeing whatever the fuck Mr. and Mrs. Garrett was. These two at least have their lives together. Shoot, I forgot to press that last one. Press.
Two silhouettes?
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction.
She's so portly.
There was a rather plump figure followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at the time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see. And there was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
The little, like, crack every time she pulls on his scarf. It's like, oh god, what is she doing? Straightening out his spine?
Huh? Well, yes, that's right. Of course there was a light fog on the ground, but Briar Road is dead straight and you could see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's a street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians. Before sleep, takes a firm hold. Your answer, please, Mr. Beat. Are you quite sure of what you just said? Yes, sir. As a cop who spends all day every day keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir. I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
There's so many things, there's no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly.
Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed?
All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor. Then the other scattered something before running off.
Hold it!
Scattered something? What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time, but then when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
This poor man.
Yeah, that's right. It was some old books. I see, old books. Yes, sir, the culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did it when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Everything. Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right, he looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please continue. Yes, sir! And then he falls back asleep. Oh, this poor man.
We ran straight over, of course, and went for help at a nearby police box.
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling?
What? Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Pete to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box. Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to the police box for the beat the incident fell under, so she could go and report it.
I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know?
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush. Isn't he, darling?
Yes, so what Patricia said, sir.
And back to sleep he goes.
Let's move on, shall we?
It was definitely that Japanese man on the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
Oh no, the poor man. We absolutely could. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
The man is about to be the victim of involuntary manslaughter. Look at him! His whole head is jerking back and forth. This man's gonna break his neck.
No, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling?
Somebody help him.
Huh? Yeah, it was the accused, no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taut mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. It was Saseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Nodohoro?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beats saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no, then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here,
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you can identify some other part of the testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory that day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Why do I always seem to be so up against it?
It's okay, Ryunosuke.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course, what is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony, is that right? Well, out with it!
What? No. Oh, no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail, everything. Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is?
That will do, Mrs. B.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you'd like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. B. Oh, might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling?
Oh gosh, she's just gonna roll on up with her own husband as her weapon in a fist fight.
Uh-oh. 4 books.
I could even tell you the names of the 4 books he dropped at the scene.
Hold it!
Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know, ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime.
Oh no, he passed out in the snow. This poor man. Somebody help him.
Well then, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you've regaled the court with the tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, you are listening? There was the picture of Monsieur Somebody or other, and What's It Earnings, and then there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the thingamy something. You see?
Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with the titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? Something is very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Oh, Jesus! I'm sorry? Who let you bring a gun into the courtroom? I don't know who steps my Patricia will have me to answer to. And back to sleep. True, all cops are bastards. Let's go, Jay. Let's go. That's right, folks. A, C, A, B. Terrifying. Yeah, she really is.
So that's it, is it? Their entire testimony, going through all this. I just wanted to see the press. I already know what the contradiction is. Next statement.
Hold it!
Oh shit, I hit press instead of present. Alright, sorry guys. I'm gonna just hold Z and skip through it all. Thank goodness for is this my first playthrough? Technically not. I played this game once when I visited my family for the holidays, and I got through the first 4 cases, but I didn't finish the 5th one or start the 2nd game. And then one of my viewers told me that the game was on sale on Steam, and it's like, oh shit, I might as well just buy the game so I can finish a playthrough of it. So I've seen this case before, but once we get to the 5th one, it'll very quickly be getting into new territory. I think I got through most of the investigation, but not up to the courtroom for the 5th case. So plenty of new content ahead of us. Present. What we need is the receipts, because yep. There's only 3 of them here.
Objection!
So you're saying that there were 4 books?
That's right, I remember all of them. The picture monster, somebody, what's it, yearnings, a meal for someone, and the thing something.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Beat, but there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours.
Oh no! What flaw?
Simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4.
What?
This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books.
Your books?
Yeah, and it details Mr. Natsume's purchases that day, but as you can see, only 3 books are listed. I love this wouldn't be a problem if she wasn't so insistent on being correct. Yep! Sometimes you just gotta let a witness incriminate themselves, or I guess throw doubt on their own testimony. Sometimes you just gotta let it happen.
Only 3, but no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you, 4 dirty old books.
Oh really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there were only 3 books.
But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it. I saw them.
No, madam, I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they're sharing the same
Objection.
scarf.
It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with the toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect.
Oh?
You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. That print? You mean to say? Oh, there goes the glass. I think that's 2 throws and 3 drinks. Allow me to present another, one that shows the victim's hand. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe. The fourth book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso.
Finding out in trial. Yep. The classic Ace Attorney special.
Order! Order!
There, you see? You see? Look at that. Look!
Yes?
It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling?
Yes, sir! Patricia's always right, sir! Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Miss Beat, the titles once again, if you please.
Oh, yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other.
The picture of Monsieur Lecoq.
What's it, yearnings?
Canterbury yearnings.
A meal for someone.
A meal for Gabrielle, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly, save for a few minor details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional.
Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment.
Yes, sir, flawless. Sir, Patricia is flawless. But there are only 3 books on the receipt, and Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book.
I wonder what became of that 4th book.
Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. You'll submit that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord.
Crime scene photograph number 2. The second photograph of the scene taken by a policeman just after the incident. It specifically shows the victim's hand. And the 4th book, a book entitled The Lion's Pride, discovered the victim's hand at the scene.
The prosecution arrests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious longer route to the accused lodgings that you tried to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I?
You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, my darling?
Yes, Pat! Marry me, Pat! So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions.
Just gonna look these over real quick while we have the chance. Oh, nope, I don't need people. I need examine. That is definitely a burnt book. They are married. It's their first anniversary a couple days ago. I think it's just him being so fucking tired. He's just rambling. The Lion's Pride. Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride.
I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. Very recently, too.
It's a title I recognize too, Miss Naruhodo.
Ba 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 ba.
Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt.
You're right. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the later pages.
Or latter pages?
What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently.
Huh. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me?
Further book's information has been updated in the court record. Alright, thank you for that.
Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is it the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course.
Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we're in a terribly precarious position.
I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now?
I hate when they present us with this sort of option because I know what the next steps are, saying that, look, this book is not actually from the victim. But is this the time for it or is it not? I'm gonna raise an objection. Fuck it.
Objection.
I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it's over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast. There is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say.
If I may, Lord Van Zieks, it seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point.
Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed, for a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. So you'll have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant's advice essential and her opinions invaluable.
Mr. Naruhodo?
One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance, so the court will hear you, madam. I do love the British racism. You know, it's time period accurate when they just throw in a little bit of racism in every other statement. Wow! Go ahead, Miss Usato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue further?
Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished.
I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you?
Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial piece of evidence is and why. So we must take this opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible.
Yes, I understand, and thank you, Miss Susato. This is it. Susato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked. The book! A series is entertaining, but the corruption of the prosecution always drives me up the wall. Yeah, there's a lot of it where you just have to accept, no. This is not like a proper courtroom. They have to dramatize it or else there's so many laws being broken. The evidence in question what we can see from the newly presented photographic prints of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection.
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being in the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of the court's time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must concur with the prosecution on this matter. When I afforded you this opportunity, you led the court to believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You identified this clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Yes, my lord. It's,
Mr. Naruhodo, I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track.
Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where is the vital clue to this case, which this fourth book conceals?
Shibbidi-bip-bop-ba. Bam!
I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp. So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for her to have been doing. Excuse me, hiccups.
Objection.
Unnatural, you say, and what of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh, were I to concede the point, if it bears no relation to the case, there is nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Pray, do enlighten us all. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There is just one possibility here which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer then, Council. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that you can ascertain from the fire damage the sorry tome has suffered?
Shop that soda, its owner, its content, its owner.
My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon.
But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand and she fell to the floor after all. It's obviously hers.
The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand has yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if your little gamble goes awry. Counsel, the defense's response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim is the owner of this burnt book? Susato! Maelstrom Heart! Gregson! It was not me! Okay, yeah.
Take that!
The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb. The landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for the jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself.
Oh my goodness, me? I think you must be mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife. I'm his maid.
Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Alright then, how about a simple question for you? Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house?
I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
Another landlord's classic villains. That's right! Not only are all cops bastards, but all landlords are criminal scum. This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused landlady, you say. You implicate this hardworking member of the public, you besmirch her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable. This is not mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Right to say it was. Happened in the blink of an eye, you know. Whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a bully thing. Didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course. Bully furniture started going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride. By Jove, that's the very same title that's the subject of this debate.
How dare you?
Objection!
This is risible. All you have told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself to the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord? Without going into details, it appears that Mrs. Garadeb was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Garadeb even amid the flames.
Oh, how awful. I can't even imagine being so horrid to the one you love.
She says as she cracks his back again.
Can you, really?
Absolutely not. Sir, my Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir.
She's going to kill you one day. I'm sorry, man.
Had all my favorite old novels in that case, but as soon as the fire got hold of them, well, that was it. Whoosh, up in smoke. And the wife started hurling things at me.
His posture's abysmal. She's correcting his spine. She's a what time period is it? An 1800s chiropractor.
There was I buck up against the window under heavy fire and send your books and come in 10 to the dozen. Pioneering the field of chiropractoring. There we have it. They're gonna see the name Patricia Beat in the records and go like, that was the first chiropractor on record. The man had his back up against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through a window and then coincidentally at the scene of the crime?
Objection!
No. A thorough investigation of surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there was no report of the garrote's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the garrote household. But is it not conceivable that the window was open at the time and not even remotely? Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No London would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. Does the defense postulate the scenario in all seriousness, counsel? Do you earnestly claim that the book found at the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mr. Garrideb's wife? Yes, I do. I believe it's a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough.
Well, I hope that everyone can see you for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward.
Really?
Claiming that our little tips at the whole neighborhood lights. Honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake. How could you? It's nothing to do with this beastly case, not any of it. All we've done is sully our family's name.
No, I assure you that was never my intention.
Dragging an upsetting citizen's name through the mud simply to divert your attention from your failing defense. Look, I had to dodge out of the way. I should box your ears, that's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable.
Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to the sneak when he's spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with the mustache. And he ran away from the scene, too.
I do declare you're right.
It's true.
Yes, what did I tell you?
Makes sense to me. Hey? Sorry? What's that?
She's admitting that she's his landlord. Yup, but we're just gonna glaze over that.
It would appear that ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zieks? In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to save the best vintage. No, wait! The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... Leggy! If books are your predilection, my learned friends, study them on your own time. What? No forgive the discourtesy this time? In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty! 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 Guilty!
Once again, back down the drain.
Thank you for that unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over.
Mr. Naruhodo, don't give up.
Mrs. Sato,
Have you forgotten? The battle isn't over yet.
you're not suggesting.
Of course. The defense has the right to another summation examination at this point. You could still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance.
My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to summation examination. I believe you still have tricks up your sleeve. I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. This is no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined.
Weird magical scales. Just let it happen. I think it's a fun representation of the court proceedings. If we had gone for 45 minutes longer, we would have hit a natural save point, but it's fine. Not to worry. Oh, was that already... Investigation part 1. Investigation part 1. Well, this is the trial, so... There we go. Trial part 2! I love this courtroom, by the way. It's so pretty, the way they set it up. I really like the stained glass windows in the background. They're very low poly, but it's good detail.
I have considered the defense counsel's request for a further summation examination of the jury, and I have determined that the court must uphold the defense's judicial right to this procedure. So, counsel, you will now proceed with your second summation examination. I presume the jury is ready, Mr. Foreman? We are, my lord. Very good. In that case, I must ask each of you now to state clearly and concisely for the court the grounds on which you find the defendant guilty of this crime.
Like this, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I think Ryunosuke is a very lovable protagonist. I am quite fond of him.
The juror's contentions. Accused left behind evidence at the scene, didn't he? Those 3 books of his.
If there was some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed, I might reconsider.
Even if the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to this crime if the window is closed, can it?
Dearie me, it was only a little book. Hardly life-threatening, even with a direct hit.
Look, I just want to get this over with. If I don't bring home some pay tonight, I'll be in a tiny bit of trouble. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago. Gave me the sneezes. They're considering more tangible arguments from all the members of the jury this time around, it seems. With one notable exception, of course. My learned student friend was unable to find fault in the previous witness testimony. So the court must accept the fact that it was indeed the accused seen fleeing from the scene. And moreover... Oop, there goes the glass. No one else was even at the scene to commit the crime. Well, if the eyewitnesses are correct, it would seem as if the conclusion is somewhat set in stone. I fail to see how it can be argued any other way.
That means, I'm afraid, that during the summation examination, it's essential that you establish some other tangible explanation for the facts.
But how? What would even constitute a tangible explanation here? Isn't it obvious? Who stabbed the woman, and how? Those 2 details are all you need to provide. Simply give us a name and a method by which the attack was conducted. And there I was thinking this might be hard.
But Mr. Naruhodo, you have to do it. Otherwise, this really will be where the trial ends.
No pressure then. That's quite enough preamble. Proceed with the summation examination, please. I presume you are prepared, counsel? Oh, yes, my lord. All right, Ryunosuke, focus your mind now.
Cheek smack!
Clearly, the key to the summation examination is going to be juror number 4, the maid. Or should I say, Mrs. Garridip.
We have a book that disappeared from the Garridip's house in the evening of the incident, and the 4th book found in the victim's hand.
There must be a way to link the 2. Yes, that's what we have to find. Using every technique I've learned in my short career so far, whatever it takes.
Don't forget to keep an eye on Mrs. Garridip and how she reacts, even to the things other people say.
Look at us. Their cute little sword. Let's just start from the top. I already know one thing I can press, but let's just start from the top.
Hold it!
As we now know, there are 4 books, not 3. Well, what difference does it make? There's every possibility that the 4th book, in fact, belongs to the defendant's landlord. Yes, that's the part I have a problem with. Sorry? At the point the woman was stabbed, this landlord fellow was at home, wasn't he? Enjoying a fiery scrap with his wife or something, you said? That's not exactly how I put it. No. Well, anyway, the point is the fellow and his wife were somewhere else when it happened.
I think that's what you call a strong alibi.
So it couldn't have been the landlord who did it, which only leaves the Nipponese fellow. Honestly, I can't see what all this palaver's about. It's a done deal, isn't it?
I suppose it is, since I have nothing witty left to say. There's some novel alternative explanation about how the victim was stabbed. I might reconsider.
Hold it!
So, you might be willing to change your decision, you mean?
Oh my, such delight on your face, but I'm afraid I shan't be swayed by emotion. Despite what you may think of me, I am a very modern, metropolitan, and rational woman.
Oh, hello, Lamp! Welcome in! How goes the case? We're at summation examination 2. We just hit the second half of the trial, so I don't think we have much longer left. I'd guess about another hour at most. And then after that, we'll be on to the 5th case, and we'll be approaching new territory for me.
That's great.
If one reads the morning papers, it's all forgotten by tea time, isn't it? So why read them in the first place? You see, modern, metropolitan, and rational thinking, wouldn't you say?
Not at all extreme.
As I see it, an overwhelmingly suspicious Japanese man has been implicated by overwhelmingly strong testimony. So despite 1 or 2 minor puzzlements, I do declare that the man is overwhelmingly guilty. Modern, metropolitan, and irrational logic, wouldn't you say?
Overwhelmingly.
But us modern gals are always delighted to embrace new fads, you know? So I'd be only too happy to consider an exciting new theory if you could come up with one.
I'd be happy to do that too, if only I could.
Let's do our very best not to disappoint the modern and metropolitan young lady.
Right. I'm glad you omitted rational there. If the woman was throwing books, it can't be related to the crime that the window was closed, can it? But what about the possibility that the window was open? What about it? I mean, there's just no way it could have been. How can you be so sure? The prosecutor fell over there said it earlier, didn't he? Winters in London are no joke. You don't want to invite that sort of cold indoors. So no, that window wasn't open. Us Londoners like sitting by the fire and staying warm, you see. But you couldn't categorically say that the window wasn't open, could you? It just wasn't. They wouldn't have opened it. Then what's the point of even having windows, huh? Counsel, you'll kindly refrain from childish bickering. Sorry. Somehow I need to show there's an undeniable possibility that the window was open. This young man isn't gonna budge otherwise.
Dear me, it's only a little book, hardly life-threatening even with the direct hit.
But the little book was on fire at the time, was it not?
With flames of love, I'll have you know.
There's really no such thing as a loving incendiary bomb.
How often is he going to be able to dodge that, I wonder?
Well, he brought it upon himself as playing with fire to betray a fiery love, isn't it? Well, don't you agree?
Well, any kind of betrayal is certainly a bad thing, yes. But I think the argument might have arisen out of your misunderstanding, Mrs. Garrett.
Never you mind that. The point is we were just having a jovial little dispute, nothing more. I won't do any more of these suggestions that it wasn't anything whatsoever to do with this crime.
Right, well, we'll see about that, but what about jury number 5? He doesn't seem to be turning a hair at Mrs. Garrett's relentless onslaughts.
It's almost as though he's used to it. What a gentle soul he is.
Good animation detail, right?
I just want to get this over if you don't bring on home some pigs now, but a tiny bit of trouble. You just want to get this over with? How can you sit there and say something like that? If man's future is at stake here. Them and me both, then, like I said before. What? I told you already, I'm a day laborer, aren't I? If I don't bring home some readies with me tonight, you'll find me floating face down in the Thames tomorrow morning. What? You heard me. Mrs. isn't one to mess about, you know. She can be fierce, believe you me. Another shining example of marital bliss, then. Marital bliss, there you go. So what this cropped up the other day was, well, Do you know, it's funny, but I can't quite remember. Sorry? It was too frightening, that's the thing. I must have blocked it out. Helpful!
I wonder if Mr. Beat will ever be dragged into the Thames by his scarf.
Don't even go there, Mrs. Soto! There must be some way to jog his memory about this. Come to think of it, we had a fire at home a while ago, gave it sneezes. Does that have anything to do with your decision about the defendant's culpability in this case? Sorry? What's that? You'll have to speak up, lad. Could you tell us more about that fire? It was last winter. My grandchildren baked me a lovely cake on my birthday. It had 75 candles on the top, but did. What a sight to behold it was. You put candles on a cake? Was it some kind of devil worship? Of course not. It was an angel cake to celebrate my birthday, obviously.
It seems that's a common custom here in Great Britain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Anyway, I must have blown my puff to blow them out. Only I must have blown wrong somehow. The flames didn't go out, but candles went flying all over the room. Furniture caught and everything went up. The whole place filled with smoke. Definitely sounds like devil worship to me. And by the sneeze, I presume you mean a cold? But how did you catch a cold from a fire? Oh, what a fiasco it was. The grandchildren, bless them, threw water over me as they tried to put out the flames. And then, because the whole room had filled up with smoke, of course, we had to open all the windows to clear it. The windows?
But in winter air rushed over me like the devil danced on my grave, it did. I caught a terrible cold from it, put me in hospital for a while. Won't forget that birthday in a hurry.
I knew it was devil worship all along. Something about this old man's story is playing in my mind for some reason.
We need to demonstrate who, apart from Mr. Natsume, could have attacked the young woman on the street, as well as how he or she could have done it.
Yes, but once again, the jurors' statements are full of personal prejudice. A lot of them seem convinced they're right, even in the face of logical arguments to the contrary.
I think you're going to need to put them against each other to force them to accept an alternative explanation.
Yeah. I don't necessarily need to find contradictions between their assertions, just a connection might do the trick. Alright, I'll see what I can do. If anything stands out, I'll go in for a strike.
That's the spirit. Alright, let's see. Stabbing. Ooh, sorry about that. Mind my yawn. Don't mind my yawn. Let's see. Window is closed, so we are going to pit you. Winter house fires without you have to open windows to clear the smoke. That's when the chill gets you, you see. There we go. Pit.
Objection.
Those two juror statements are clearly contradict one another. They do? How exactly, counsel? Don't point at me again. I told you it wasn't me. Huh? What's that you say? Speak up, lad. Speak up. Juror number 3. Do you see? Me? See what, sir? Did you hear juror number 6's account of his birthday celebrations last year? It seems, despite being a Londoner, he once opened his windows in the middle of winter. Well, yes, of course, because it was an emergency. I mean, obviously, if the room was filled with smoke from a fire, then you'd be mad not to open the... Oh! Exactly. On the day in question, at the time of the incident, there was a fire in the Garrideb household, and Mr. Garrideb had the following to say about it. The whole place filled with smoke.
Oh my.
You? Or
Excuse
pursuing
me.
you? Juror number 4, do you have something to say about that?
Oh dear, how much tea is she drinking?
Mrs. Garrideb!
Oh dear me! What is the meaning of this? How dare you imply that I'm hiding who I really am?
It's imperative that you confirm something for the court. So please, it's time to drop the pretense now.
What is it?
When the fire started in your house that day, did you or your husband open the window?
I beg your pardon, what are you insinuating?
The room would have been thick with smoke after the carpet and bookcase caught fire as they did. In a situation like that, it's inconceivable that you wouldn't have opened the window.
And what if we did? Oh, alright then. Yes, you're right. My husband was frantically trying to open the window, which can't have been easy since I continued to give him a justly deserved book battering.
Even though your house was on fire?
Oh, you never stop throwing until the anger subsides. It would be terribly bad for the nerves to do otherwise.
Of course, I should have realized.
That's a significant step forward, Mr. Naruhodo. You managed to establish that the window was open. We simply must have that added to Mrs. Garrideb's formal statement. Now you mentioned it, yes, the window was open at the time. I'd clean forgotten, but it's true. Did your statement change at all? No, but still about the fires. I'll listen to your new one next.
Hold it!
At the point when the victim was attacked on Briar Road, we know there was a small house fire in the Garrideb household on the opposite side of the street. Well, yeah, it certainly seems that way. On account of the smoke, I imagine they would have had the windows wide open in spite of the cold. We also know that Mrs. Garrideb was throwing flaming books at her husband, who was backed into a corner by the window due to his wife's frenzied attack. Yeah, that's right. So there's definitely a chance that one of the books could have flown past the man and out the window. Only what? Well, I can't really see how it could have gone all the way over to the other side of the road, that's all. Huh. So I don't really see how I can change my decision, really. Oh, I see. That wasn't enough? What's it gonna take to persuade these people?
Okay, now I'll speak with her.
Hold it!
The fourth book found at the scene of the crime shows very obvious signs of fire damage. And the title of the book is The Lion's Pride. The same title, in fact, as the book that Mr. Garrideb told us he had been reading.
Well, I really couldn't say.
On the day in question, did you or did you not throw at your husband the copy of the lines pad that he had been reading.
I did. It was the first thing I could lay my hands on, so I hurled it straight at him, and now you come to mention it. Yes? He was rather enjoying reading it. You're right.
Why did you not reveal this information to the court from the outset?
Because I couldn't, you insolent little man. I didn't remember. At times like that, you pick up and throw whatever you can lay your hands on, as you know.
I really don't.
I barely noticed I was throwing a book, much less the title of it.
You.
Excuse me.
What is it, juror number 5? You know something? I remember what it was. The memory I blocked out. It was listening to what this granny was saying. Brought it all flooding back.
How are you calling a granny, you cheeky devil? I'm Mrs. Garrett by the maid, I'll have you know.
The man doesn't even flinch. Please tell me that's not because he's so used to being hit all the time.
It was about 2 weeks ago now. Just got back home after work put my hand in my pocket for the wages I just earned that day, and I nearly died. There was a hole. Every last penny had dropped out. Oh dear, what a disaster. You haven't heard the half of it, boy. Oh? My wife was cutting up some chicken at the time. I could hardly get the words out, but I told her straight. I've lost a day's wages, love. Next thing I knew, the blade was whistling past my ear, stuck into the wall next to me, it did, about an inch deep. No words, just terror. I could smell it then, that god-awful stench of the Thames. I was sure I was going to end up face down in the muddy banks that night, I can tell you. Now, that's a real disaster, isn't it? I'll never use the word lightly again. And my point I'm trying to make is this. When women lose their rag, they'll throw anything at you. Knives, hatchets, hammers, you name it.
Listen, Naruhodo, you mustn't think that all women are so short-tempered and unrefined.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Throwing household objects at people is, well, it's so uncivilized. At least attack with honor, using a bow or the like.
What? Attack? Who are you going to attack?
Never mind. Anyway, this man's words could be rather significant, I think.
Alright, we'll come back to the bow and arrow thing later if I dare. Inosuke's just gonna get fucking ganked out in the jungle. Susato out here with the bow and arrow, ready to kill him. Well, the point is women be throwing it, yes. A little bit of violence as a treat.
And a woman in rage will hurl almost anything at you. The kitchen knife really brought that home to me. It was open, that queen forgot, but it's true. We're gonna pit you against you.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly have a deeply significant connection. Good grief, you mean they don't contradict each other? Explain, counsel, at once. Juror number 2, do you think perhaps that this could be one such novel alternative?
Oh my, whatever do you mean?
An alternative explanation as to how the victim was stabbed in the back. What are you talking about? We've demonstrated that the 4th book, The Lion's Pride, that was found at the scene of the crime, originated in Mr. Garrett's room on the top floor of his house. Therefore, it's equally possible that some other object besides the book could have found its way from the Garrett household to the street below. What's that now? After all, Mrs. Garrett could have thrown any number of different objects at her husband. Isn't that right, juror number 4?
Are you insinuating now, you little beanpole?
I'm beginning to think that, ever since the true origins of this book came to light. Perhaps she's had a feeling this might be what happened. Now you listen here, you Eastern Gala. As the foreman of this jury, I demand a straight answer. You give us this yarn about some other object making its way out of the house. But what? What was it? I'm really taking a big gamble here. That was a bold accusation to make, but I haven't any real evidence to back it up. But I'm certain that at the very least, this warrants further investigation. Alright, Mr. Foreman, I'll try to explain the defense's theory. The other object that found its way from the Garrett household to the scene of the crime was...
Take that!
The jackknife.
Juror number 4, Mrs. Garrett.
What now?
I must apologize in advance for this. But I need you to confirm something else for the court. This knife. Have you ever seen this knife before?
Huh. Good Lord, Counsel, what on earth are you doing? That's the weapon that was lodged into the victim's back, man.
My lord, remember that when the victim was attacked, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett were in the throes of an argument. Mrs. Garrett was hurling anything she could at her husband, who'd been backed up against the window, a window that had been opened to clear the smoke, and through which a book sailed to land at the crime scene. You can't seriously believe that the book was found in the victim's grasp. Are you saying that it flew out the window and across the street to land neatly in her hand? Ah, even my missus hasn't got a name like that. Yes, I admit, there are many details we don't yet understand. But that's the point. That's precisely why. We must not allow this trial to end. Not right now.
Oh my.
Oh. Mrs. Garrett, your answer, please. Have you seen this knife before or not?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is she okay?
My lord?
I wish to change my decision. I'm a woman of my word, after all.
Thank you, madam. Yes, I agree. I certainly didn't see this coming, but I just don't think it would be right for this trial to come to an end now with so many unanswered questions. Mr. Foreman! I'd have to agree. Not that I think that the granny did it, mind. Yeah, you know what? I'm not quite happy about this at the moment either. All together now, ladies and gents.
And we're back.
Wait, did it?
Congratulations, Mr. Naruhodo.
So, as a result of the defense's summation examination, a number of the jurors' leanings have changed. 2 jurors called guilty, and against 4 now calling it innocent. Accordingly, the opinion of this court is divided. And this trial will continue.
Summation examinations are so fun. I love having to like go back and forth and like get all the different testimonies and try and find the connections between things. Like I hope again, I've mentioned this before, but if there's ever that they produce a new Ace Attorney game, they find some way to bring back the summation examination in some form, just because I feel like it's such a fun gimmick for the courtroom. It's not like the emotion matrix, which everything I've seen of it just makes it seem kind of lame. It's not like the seeing thing in the pool, where like you can see some of the imagery, but it's still very much like it's the same thing from the pools from Spirit of Justice, not Spirit of Justice. What is it called? God, you guys know which game I'm talking about, right? The most recent one. Where Apollo gets a third new backstory, because he gets a new backstory in every single game. In that one, the gimmick, as far as I saw with it, was being able to like relive the moments of the incident, but like half the time we already figured that out anyway through the proceedings of a trial. So it isn't actually anything new, it's just a new way of formatting it. This feels like something new, because it's not just about finding the evidence and stuff like that. It's also about like pitting people's opinions against each other and so on and so forth. So I really want the summation examination to come back in future games. Not Apollo Justice. Not Dual Destinies. The one after that, where they explore the original country that the channeling came from. Now then, Lord Van Zieks, how does the prosecution wish to proceed? Oh, here's another glass. I think he's only had like 2 or 3 drinks.
This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough.
Another sip and throw.
But what follows is so repugnant is good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Credible? Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting...
Oops, sorry about the hiccup.
that you all must familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. What do you mean by that? What's his angle this time? It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Garrett household runs a rather wide street, Briar Road. Which means that the distance from the Garrett's house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards.
Let me see. 15 yards. That's around 14 meters.
14 meters? That's a little farther than I'd imagined. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the clasped victim's fingers and thumb. Is that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? And did the jackknife follow in your identical trajectory to plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that.
That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Mr. Sato, serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he?
Maybe let's pick our battles here.
My lord, might I be allowed to speak?
As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense, yes? Go ahead.
The prosecution may consider the idea a fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its meaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrideb, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination.
Saints alive! Cross-examination of a juror! Order! Order! Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand.
Objection!
Pachoon! I think that's our second bottle that we shattered.
And unnecessary. Lord Van Zeeks? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and a jackknife must have flown through the sky before this couple's eyes. We must assume that they'll be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses?
Nope, is he awake?
Yes, sir. Constable Rolly Beat reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir.
Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies.
Patricia, my darling, I've been neglecting you, but no more.
Oh, really? My hero! You make me swoon!
Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request. Oh. And order the witnesses in the stand to testify again. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanation of events. Yes, sir!
Oh no, he's already nodding off again. Look at him go. Constable Beats report.
This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, London Bobby's go for his word. You'll see, sir, the windows on the top floor of the Garrett house are top hinge casements.
Obviously, if anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. That's a strange report on that front, sir. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinge casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir! Sorry, but what exactly is a top-hinged casement window? And you? You cannot excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Of course, sorry.
I found it, Mrs. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's room.
Alright, I'll try.
So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as it's a top hinged casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see?
I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents it opening? This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. You see the problem then. Good, your education in windows is complete. There never was any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That is, unless the window pane had been shattered, something we've discounted already. That can't be!
Did you see that, Rolly? The young Japanese man just collapsed in agony.
Ice, my darling, I saw it. I saw how you crumbled before me.
Oh, Rolly, you're so strong.
How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright again, the court awaits a cross-examination. My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation.
It's okay, Naruhodo. You'll be alright. Constable Beats report. Let's do the press.
Hold it!
How can you say that for certain? A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty.
He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? Can't say I remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. That's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you Bobby's good for his word, while rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. Sir!
Oh, Rolly, you're so manly.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly.
Oh, that's so sickly sweet. I love it. It's so fucking funny.
No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett? Oh, I see. So you should have said so earlier, sir. Well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my abilities, sir. That is a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes? I very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard, so I hope you'll take back some tales of us London bobbies and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I've only just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal, but I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears. Thank you. I'll try.
Constable Beats' warrant card has been encountered into the court record. Encountered, entered. There we go. Oh boy, another yawn. I didn't sleep very well last night, so that's the cause of it today. Item 1. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. Patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on this beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Okay. Now we can talk about the windows.
What you mean they don't open fully? Is that correct? Yes, sir. I just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see.
Just method acting for Rolly voice work.
Oh, God, you're right. Maybe it's because he's tired that I'm tired. So they're restricted to how much they open. And therefore anything thrown out the window from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes, directly opposite the scene of the crime, on the other side of the rather wide road. Would have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before. Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? I don't even know. Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat?
Sorry?
You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that?
Oh, I was just remembering, that's all. We really were so lucky.
Lucky? What do you mean?
Well, of course I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just so lucky it didn't happen on Rolly's beat. It was so close, you see.
Oh, I hadn't realized.
Oh, yes, that straight Briar Road. That's the boundary between Rolly's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love?
Constable Beat.
Oh, he's awake again. Alright, we're good. I like the music for the testimony. It is so cute. I want to say it's music that's also used for when Iris is around. I'm not sure though.
Huh? Ah, yes, that's right. The reason why I was helping out with the interviewing the occupants of the Garrett household yesterday. Our house is on my beat, you see, sir. That really was cutting it close then.
Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garrett household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it is as well?
Outside Mr. Garrett's house? Yes, ma'am. Pavement on that side of the road is a part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that.
Just think, if the woman had been attacked just on the other side of Briar Road, we would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all.
Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners.
Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Rolly for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling?
That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record.
Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately.
Case file's information has been updated in the court record.
Now it's my turn, I think. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it.
Hold it!
But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already and it was dark.
Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star.
Sorry?
The star that will guide us to eternal happiness.
Can't I guide you to answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star.
And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said. 3 times at least.
Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither book nor knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that's correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. It certainly seems like they're telling the truth.
And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. I did leave a scene to go and fetch help, but my trusty Rolly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed.
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course.
Oh, don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box in every beat.
So Rolly told me the way. Only, I sort of got a little lost in the way.
Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Rolly!
Oh, please. Oh, so funny.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes, but like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, but true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir.
Hold it!
Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the odds on us, sir. Really, that seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of the lion's print was originally in the Garrett household, so the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could be a different copy, so one that just happened to be burnt as well. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her bag and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir?
While you do that, let me examine our new book. Payment where the victim was found, like just outside Constable Beats. The board of which is on the Middleborough Road. And then book. Oh wait, I already did research the book. Okay, we're good. Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
What? I wasn't really. I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. B. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but mine really won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. B. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Oh, is she adding that in? Yeah, she's adding that in the middle here.
I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Mrs. B, nobody's questioning what you've told us.
I saw what I did that evening and I saw it clearly. The little Easter man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction.
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross.
Excuse me.
Constable B, is there a problem?
Oh, hang on, he's gonna fall over, guys.
No, sir, no problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir, yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. B lost her way on the night of the incident? You see, I sent her off to find a police box the next beat over from mine. Well, she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, Rolly, you're such a tease. But the reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was his present for a wedding anniversary. Really so romantic. He saved up for it with his farthings and the half pennies he found. Or maybe half pennies. He found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. Had you, my darling?
Oh, yes, but that was just between us. Don't talk about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh.
Oh, hey, Penny. I see, yeah.
What was that all about? Constable B looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruhodo. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. B about the bouquet.
Mrs. B, this bouquet you just mentioned, I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to.
Hey, Penny, which is a half penny. Oh, okay. So it was both, right?
Hold it!
Say, it was what happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up on the wrong street or something.
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. I was so upset when we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked. I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on.
Yes, I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again, but the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, then, presumably?
That's right! Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm gonna blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there, I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Bar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene.
Oh, the victim? No, she's not dead yet. She is comatose right now, Miss Olive Green. She was stabbed and lived, but she hasn't actually been able to wake up, so they couldn't take any statements from her about what happened that night.
A beautiful rose Rolly bought me. Would that change the good he spent so long collecting?
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose?
Oh, yes, that's it! That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Ventus, where did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garridip household. In front of the Garridip's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh.
Anniversary bouquet, a present for Patricia Beat from her husband Rolly. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood.
But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back.
Oh, good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
The victim must have moved. Yes, indeed! Let's see. We're going to present, and we'll examine this for good measure.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Miss Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh, 3?
Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Perhaps you should consider branching out, letting some that aren't fruit tree based, for example.
Oops, sorry, didn't mean to examine that. Newspaper? Oh, no, it's the same dialogue, okay. Is this something?
It's a very stylish paper the flower's wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Miss Naruhodo.
Oh, I suppose because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Tsusato-san, you do love your cakes.
Alright, so now we're gonna present this because something weird happened.
Objection!
Your claim, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 minutes or so you're guarding the scene, but that cannot be.
What? What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Bra Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager?
Objection!
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on the Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's not really didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
Oops. Hang on. Sorry about the options menu there. Like how the reliable testimony is actually coming in handy to help. Yeah, if she just kept her mouth shut, then she'd be helping the prosecution, but she's so concerned about being reliable that, like, she's providing the details that we need. We stan.
What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garrett's book. Mr. Garrett's copy of the Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Miss Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house. There is no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
It's also like we've basically proven outside directions. Their memory is very reliable, so if we can get the testimony to line with our version, it's super good. Yep. For once, we actually have good witnesses on the stand. They're not bribed to say something else or having a really shitty memory or like trying to cover something up. Well, okay, somebody's covering something up. But like other than that, like their accounts are actually just a good, solid account of the crime scene, which is very, very rare for witnesses in Ace Attorney.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking sounds like you think my lawyer's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says? Whittering on about books and bouquets? Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is.
Oh good, Miss Garrett's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrett, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
tampering, Mrs. Naruhodo.
But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all testimony points to that one particular person.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this a conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? Bro, like every case from the beginning have been tampered. You right. You right. A fuck ton of people have been tampering with crime scenes. Sorry, Rolly.
Take that!
There's only one person it could have been.
Constable Rolly Beat, it was you.
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. Nobody works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Alright, get your heterosexual bullshit out of here. Oh, I was gonna say with Herlock Sholmes, him just magically popping up, moving the body around and going, yes, I will solve this case later. I could see him pulling some bullshit like that.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about the Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Miss Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well...
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate the policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing.
Another hiccup, sorry.
You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there. That's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable B had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Miss Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, will you now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering? Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That's what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What?
Where the victim fell? Where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What?
I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know Manip and his friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Over here, of course.
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garrett's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Miss B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume. Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay with the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. He didn't want the crime scene to be on his beat. Exactly, Jay. You got it. You got it. He would have had to give up his date with his wife if it was on his own beat. So he moved the crime scene so that way they could continue to go out for dinner on their anniversary. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beat? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream, a terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Only it seems... it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Order! Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too. She's still alive. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say so. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the most for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions?
It's in the rules here. I mean, technically, it's in the rules here. It'll say he doesn't want to be on his beat, right?
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I have learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yeah. It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind? But sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. B puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable B offered to lend me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable B. Is that, or is that not, the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's alright. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you've done? It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why does this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to go to the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever's on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat, so you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street and then...
I remember this very distinctly. Oh, poor man. On his anniversary.
ACAB, but he is just a man who loves his wife.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, really? Just that one night?
You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined, and so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside of your jurisdiction, just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care.
You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now.
But God got me back from my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
Love this piece here with the violin. Hello? Very nice.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total?
Huh? Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Miss Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the garret household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? And all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it.
How you found it? What do you mean?
When we first went over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting.
The book entitled The Lion's Pride that was in the victim's hand when Mrs. B first went over to see what happened.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. Whichever way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off had done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make it jot a difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it.
My lord,
Yes, Lord Van Zeeks.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw.
Yes, sir. Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my Rolly? What'll happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable.
Sir.
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you.
Yes, sir.
Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime.
Huh? Never again, sir? You mean to say?
Leave now. This trial is not yet over.
Sir!
Look at him. He's got a heart of gold after all. He just needs to get past his undeniable racism.
Well,
quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly committed this crime. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
So now we gotta prove that the knife belonged to the landlords? Yes, that is my next assumption. We've got to prove that it belonged to them, and also that, like, they were in the right position for the knife to have been thrown out the window and land in her back.
Lord Van Zieks, is this true? Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. You will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime.
Aye, sorry, Miss Garrideb.
Take that!
The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrideb.
Me, oh dearie me!
Objection!
That request has already been denied. But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garrideb, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garrideb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited, and to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road.
Oh, what's of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open-top hinge casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Listen, as I said, what's of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrideb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
I don't recall it.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there and all that regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4. Huh? Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out.
But that's just a common garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know?
What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Garrideb?
Don't you listen to me. I refuse to be all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it.
Oh, the poor woman.
So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to sit on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now. Chop chop. Do your worst.
Well, Mrs. Naruhodo, if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror.
Huh?
The prosecution does not object to defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zieks.
I'm going to have to testify?
Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed, truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garudeb, and mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer.
I love the triumphant sound to this track here. I think it's more violins. Maybe they're using a viola. But the mix of like the brass instruments with the strings, very good. Very good. Love it. Honestly, this whole game's soundtrack has been spectacular so far. I've been messing with the game volume slowly over time, trying to like get it so people can actually hear the music, because it seemed so quiet before, and it's like it's such a disappointment not to be able to hear the music. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garudeb, and I'm a juror and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore.
The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me.
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now.
I didn't know you were here, John.
Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
But what about your knee, dear?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you're Mr. John Garudeb. Yes, sir. Former 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living a quiet life, as it were. The quiet life, where you're not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question. Well, yes, quiet.
I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question.
Sir, at once.
The Battle of Garrett. That's a funny witness testimony name.
Yep, on the day that you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked the candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. That bully thing was in the victim's back. That bully thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'd have a job proving it, I think. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. Enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, veterans such as myself, there's only 2 aware that on every battlefield, you're just not to whisk away from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zix may well be right.
Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. The Battle of Yaredeb. Yes, on the day it referred to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now.
Hold it!
Just gonna press everything as we should.
The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrett.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrett found the note discovering her husband's little secret.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. Was the defendant ever called to provide testimony? No, he was not, because they already took a statement from Soseki Natsume, Natsume Soseki, and he said he didn't remember where he was walking that day, and he said he just ran away, so on and so forth. So we already had his side of the story, and it didn't seem to line up with any of what the defendants were saying. Not defendants, the witnesses were saying. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
A likely story.
Oh, these waters run very deep. And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face? Knocked the candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? A bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine really. Just happens that there was some bath water around that evening, so I sluiced it around to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. I have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any sea.
The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although the little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man?
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. That is most certainly not true of Susato takedown, Miss Naruhodo.
How did she know I was thinking that? So please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Jupiter!
By Jupiter. That's a fun one.
Excuse me!
We're only halfway through stream and I'm almost out of water. I must have needed a lot of it today, huh? Well, I think I can guess why. I wasn't awake for very long before I actually started streaming because I didn't sleep very well. And so by the time I finished my lunch and stuff, I barely had time to have a single drink. So that's probably why.
Do you have something to add, sir?
I'll need more once I become affiliate. Oh no, more water. How am I supposed to get through all this water?
Mr. Garrideb. Don't shoot! Sorry. Beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction is somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch! And the woman's aim is uncanny. She's not a direct hit with every volley. Ugh! Good grief, woman, we're not at home now. This is a court of law.
Oh, dear me, ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, huh? Your pipe, sir?
Viewers are obsessed in hydrating the streamers or drowning. It's the same. I think I have heard people doing that before, like a points reward where you could like make people do things. And one of the things I've seen people set it as sometimes is like, take a drink of water. I've also seen like kind words done previously. There's a streamer that I mod for, and one of his used to be like, say something nice. Like we get to type something nice for him, but then like too many of us were redeeming it at the same time, so it'd just be a bunch of us going like, you're great, we love watching your streams, and he got so embarrassed he had to shut it off. Woohoo, I have had water refreshed. A thank you to my fiance.
I had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it out clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did. Yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
Oh, you're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I wonder what we should make of this account.
I think it's important.
The defense believes Mr. Garrett's remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one?
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir?
Oh, well, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
Pipe has been entered into the court record.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thanks to Sada-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully.
Well, we might as well. Mr. Garrett's pipe apparently fell to the floor during a domestic dispute he had with his wife and broke. There's the bandaging. Oh, that's a lovely wood color. I wonder how they got that done. Maybe they stained it? It must have been, like some sort of dark blue stain.
Looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garrett's dressing gown.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garrett, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that, or he can't afford to replace it.
And I do see there's a chip over here.
There's a small nick out of the bowl here, look. It appears to have been made relatively recently.
And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe.
Yes, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye, though, because it's clearly new.
Rotating up and down. Boop, boop, boop. What the fuck? With how many times this guy has moved his pipe around? How the fuck is this still in here? It's not even wedged into it, it looks like.
Something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this?
It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be.
Small piece of metal looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade. It was stuck inside the bowl of Mr. Garrett's pipe. Alright. I'm getting back out of here. Examining this.
This is the tiny piece of metal we found in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe.
It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade?
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
I don't really know. There's just something niggling me, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
Perhaps in that case, it would be wise to examine some of the other piece of evidence again.
The knife hit the pipe! You got it!
Ching! There's the missing knife tip.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo, just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Wait, part of it's missing. I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Oh, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Gerda's pipe.
Yes, and just maybe.
Oh my! It's a perfect fit!
Somehow I just knew it. Alright, so that should have updated things, right? Perfect fit, there we go. Yep, the description was updated, so now we can keep going.
Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrett. Now if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if one or two went missing, I'm afraid.
Oops, no, I didn't mean to go back. I meant to go forward. And we'll still press it, but I know where we have to go. More water.
Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot of carving, you see. Pipes and whatnot, fishing tackle, you know, the sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leather work.
Sorry to say we're always losing knives about the place. We have dozens of the things.
They sell them at the market sometimes, 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snapped them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at mealtimes too, instead of a knife and fork.
I don't know, Joan. We don't want people thinking I'm some kind of savage. Ah! Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive?
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. So! If the bullet thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
Hold it!
So you have no intention of admitting it was your knife unless you can produce proof. Even though there's no other credible possibility if Mr. Natsume is innocent.
Objection!
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack. As if I could forget! If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream.
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? You mean it's not a dream? What sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say.
But I can't see anything. There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice.
Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation.
Scientific methods! Emma Sky, out for blood.
But for now, we should have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion. That this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house.
Ah, if only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. That's the end of their testimony, is it?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony.
But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury.
If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Yes, it would.
So for Sasaki-san's sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence.
Alright, we know where we're going, lads. Present. The knife tip.
Objection!
Mr. Garadeb, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bully thing. You can't? Used to call me Deb back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now, even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does, dear me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must be very dizzy. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal?
Oh, hello, Rudy! Welcome in! We're basically right at the end of the trial.
Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Gerardov's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it was in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? Cheek slaps! We're serious now. I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. Oh, you can see his robe is burnt in the back, the poor man. Huh, you peer out of the covenant in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case? Bam!
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. And you know water? Alright. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals use them regularly with the tips lodged in the victim's bones. And what is this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Gerardov's pipe. Huh. Ugh. Oh, how dramatic was that movement where he like went back with his hair flopping? Oh god. Good grief, Lord Van Zieks. Oh, there he is, clutching at the heart too. How dramatic. I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh! Order! Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zieks has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once! Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Gerardov's pipe?
Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
This thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did. Yes, it would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid.
The dramatic extension expresses how serious the business of these trials are. Yes, yes. I love the character acting for all of the different models in this game. They do such a good job using the 3D models and like animating them as if they were 2D sprites, but like using the 3D space a little bit better. It's very good. Love it. Love it so much.
Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Gerardov flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gerardov instead striking his pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Gerardov's pipe. The chance of that are 1,000,000 to 1! And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. Huh. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Gerardov's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear! No!
I haven't commented on it previously. I love that they need to provide her a box to stand on. What is that? His fourth drink?
A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it is just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, Leggy! It's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable... What? Come on, Fantiques, explain yourself. What is the inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Huh. Ooh, there he goes.
That's right, you silly little man!
Now, Joan, little thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above... Ooh, there's another throw. There's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Ah! Order? Order!
Quite right, you see, that's exactly right. The knife had fallen on her from above. It would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well, he's lost for words, look.
I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place.
I don't know, though. What really did happen? It would appear the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words,
We simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will still stand.
Mrs. Sato?
You mustn't worry, Miss Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
But the theory that the defendant is guilty and it's like 6 million inconsistencies is fine, though.
You know, it's just how it be. I want to say at this point in time, you are still guilty until proven otherwise. At least I think that's how it used to be in English law. I don't think innocent until proven guilty was a thing until modern law, but I'm not sure. I'm not exactly a law history expert myself.
It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
What you learned in the Ace Attorney series, a good defense series can witnesses into guilty criminals. Yep.
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Goodness!
Utter madness.
Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
This is the last inconsistency. The final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... the book!
Right? Yeah, it was in her hand.
Take that!
This, the fourth book found at the scene? This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present.
Oops, sorry, I moved my mic. Ah, sorry! I didn't mean to bang it at such an opportune moment. Okay. I'm just gonna lightly adjust it. Okay. Sorry if that would peak the mic at all, sorry.
The burnt book? Is that not Mr. Gyarados' book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. You got it in one, Jay. She bent down to pick it up, and after that, the knife went flying down after hitting the window straight into her back. His photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all now know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, a victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? But Jingo, I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrett household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw.
Yes, Mrs. Garrett, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up.
Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh, heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent up picking over the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. Managed to run away from the beast as soon as possible, even with the bad knee. Oh, good luck getting him down the stairs without him just falling and dying that way. Either way, he's trapped. That's his wife. At the same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, it appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor in the dark and the fog. He didn't see the knife falling down on her from above. Huh. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her parent attack her. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this is nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb.
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
Oh, there old Bean.
Poor Mrs. Garrideb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. And I threw the knife as well. John, dear.
It's alright, I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly, I'm sorry.
Oh no, he's the one catching her. Oh, but he can't lift her because he's too weak now. Oh, and his bad knee. Oh, the poor man. Poor Mrs. Garrett did domestic violence and she almost hit her husband in the chest. Yeah! Yeah, this could have been a fucking murder if things were different.
Well, the good news is she isn't actually guilty of murder. It's just unintentional assault, if there's a category for that. Involuntary assault? Because there's involuntary manslaughter, involuntary assault. So maybe they'll be lenient with her charges and she'll learn not to throw things? Yes, we did it, Healbot. We saved Japanese literature. This is what causes all Japanese books to be popular, right? Right.
There is a crime for causing death.
But she didn't actually cause Miss Olivia Green to die. Olive Green. She is still alive. She's comatose, but she's still alive. So assuming she does not pass, then it's not a murder charge.
Criminal negligence, reckless endangerment. That I could see that. Yeah, those seem like likely charges.
Lord Van Zeeks, what news of Mrs. Garrideb? She's been taken to the infirmary. It appeared that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There's no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They shall prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is some good news, however, my lord. I've just had word from the hospital, where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her.
How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems.
Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Soseki Natsume? Yes? On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh, no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too.
I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. Oh, I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're hunting me. Poor Saseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes, poor man.
So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We are befooled by the spirit and led to false conclusions, but thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken, and the spirit exorcised.
I heartily commend you both.
Oh!
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, my lord.
In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court?
As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for the old beam while she's out of action, you know, but I know what her decision will be. Doesn't mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work. Well, it's about time. I say I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Let's go! Innocent! Silly author, doesn't he know spirits aren't real in the Ace Attorney universe?
Yeah, they're definitely not real. Ah, shucks. Gee, Willikers, there's no such thing as spirit channeling. No. Very well. Mr. Soseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty.
Confetti! Oh, and the fireworks. I love these. And finally, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, yes, Lord, sir.
You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me.
Oh, yes, sir. Of course. All my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears.
Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. We did it! We saved Natsume Soseki! The 20th of February, 3:17 p.m. in the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. That's like, what, 5 hours of courtroom proceedings? Okay, yeah. I am very sure that Baron von Zieks is never going to get drunk, ever. It's just not in the cards. You shall burp for a bit. Thank you, Rudy, for the congrats, and hopefully you'll be back soon, because there's still more. We still have like an hour of stream to go. We can get started on the 5th case.
Oh, locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course. Is there another locum here? Is there even one?
Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, it's last. I'm free. I'm free. Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation. Heady, hearty happiness. Hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then?
Locum, you did it. You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. Bars.
Oh god, I would love to see somebody try to put that to music. I think they'd have a hard time with it.
I'm just glad everyone can see that now.
No, not that.
Lovely loyal locum lawyer! Yes?
I mean, as I said before, I have just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners, I see towering brick buildings, and from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume.
But today, you locum lawyer gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you.
This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan.
An anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work?
There you are, my dear fellows. Oh, hi, Sholmes! Was he gonna try to show up in court? Oh, Sholmes.
I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you.
I see I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh.
The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. It's just finished. What? No! Then my haste was in vain. Oh! It's you! Herlock Sholmes! Oh? Have we met, sir?
This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming.
This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you
A piece of my mind!
my apologies, sir, but I assure you I have placed you now.
You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Had she been taken to a hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now.
Oh,
But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience.
All the wind out of his sails immediately. I do feel very badly about how I behaved.
Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing.
Ah ha ha! Priceless! Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Oh, poor Saseki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty.
But there is no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper!
Lord Van Zeeks.
I haven't forgotten, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed!
It will be alright, Mr. Natsume.
Huh?
If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you.
Hiya!
With a perfectly executed Susato takedown.
Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Mrs. Sato.
I guess she must just enjoy throwing him, which, you know what? Fair. Ryunosuke seems like the type of person that's very fun to throw. He's always got such good reactions to things.
So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You heard something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan?
Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh,
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
that's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse.
That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own.
Oh, I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san could be an interesting read. And what about Mrs. Sato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot? Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet.
And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? Oh, that's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? But what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
Oh my, an evil spirit?
Oh yes, he tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call.
They've done 4 cases in a week? No. Our first case was back in Japan before any of this happened. Our second one was on the ship while we were sailing over. And then the very day that we set foot in Great Britain, it was our first case. And then the day after, when we went to go report back in, we were told about today's trial. So it's only been like 3 days since they actually set foot in Great Britain. And so they've done 2 cases in the span of like 3 days. So that could be just as impressive.
Well, we'll think about it if that's alright. Perhaps I could offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me?
Really?
Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and now he's cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of.
Oh, this is simply wonderful! What an honor to be invited to take lodging in the great detective office's attic! I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out, then. Then it's settled. I will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes.
Wonderful! Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long.
Somebody's happy.
Locum, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London.
Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you, too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer.
Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author.
Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubt that Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Saseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street.
And that's the end of the trial, and we still haven't not done yet, I guess. I thought it'd be the end there. Okay. The 20th February, 4:41 p.m., the attic room. This is quite a spacious attic. Ooh, that's nice.
So this?
Yes, to be our new office, yes.
Our office? I rather like the sound of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you.
I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you simply must let me help you. All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel? To have your own office in the capital. It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Ah, ha, ha. Those are precisely my sentiments when I first established my own office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth, but the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke, but it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it.
Okay, now we finish the fourth case. Saving. Case complete. Excellent. The adventure of the unspeakable story, the Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal had ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. And there should be an opening cutscene, so I'm not gonna talk. Yep, there we go.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Which is hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram.
The 15th of April, 9:13 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. There we go. Who's at the door?
That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san?
Yes! Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today?
I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I?
Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me.
But I think Iris said she'd make us breakfast this morning, so shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Yes! Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food.
She does, doesn't she?
And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today?
Here we go again.
Woman, are you okay? But firstly, examine everything. Nothing here. The shovel, I guess.
That spade has been in here since we started renting the place.
Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san.
It's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up this material. It's a shovel.
I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's just leave it.
Ah, is this our new ladder versus step ladder? I understand.
Yeah, same brain cell lamp. Alright, alright. So the tea set that Susato brought with her from Japan. Let's hope that she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter.
Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face so.
It's spring at last and the weather is warmer now, but I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle.
Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san?
Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Susato-san makes me from time to time and our unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover.
Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think?
But I can't find anything out of place. Okay, yeah, I meant to get whatever was going here.
I've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already.
You could tidy up once in a while.
Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause.
And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on the simple housework.
She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here.
It's fine. It's an ace attorney woman. We all know who wears the pants.
The Dharma doll I brought with me from home. Still the only one I colored in. I said I colored the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but...
But you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact.
Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper fully fledged lawyer?
If you insist. Anything else of note? Not the chest there. Let's shift.
Oh, this must be the telegram. Let's see.
Ah! No! You mustn't look at that! And not under any circumstances.
Alright, I won't.
I'm sorry, Naruto-san, but you can be very mischievous at times.
Now put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it.
Let's see, is that a fish tank?
We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well. And the anemones too.
It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness.
Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great though, is it?
Oh yeah, this is before you could automate it, huh? That must suck.
Do you know, I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san. I've never even peeked inside.
I should think so, too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know.
Whatever you say, young maiden.
So I can hear one of the background music and we see Izakaya.
Oh, it does sound kind of similar, doesn't it?
I think it's because they're using more of the... I want to say the stringed instrument being used is like a koto. And then this part also sounds kind of similar too, when it's just like the... I don't even know what instrument they're using for that noise, but the... Alright, had some water, so I think that's everything. Let's actually talk to her now.
So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean.
Oh, a telegram. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that.
Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thoughts. It's nothing. Nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It's just a boring old telegram.
That's 3 times now she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing.
I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point.
Alright, I understand. I suppose Saseki-san will have a ride back in Japan by now, won't he?
Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away.
A fortnight ago we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well.
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
I was just wondering what might have become of Saseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all.
You mean, as regards Lord Van Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case, but... Ah, nope, wrong. I didn't realize I already highlighted it. Skip. Sorry about that. Okay, now we can talk about the Reaper.
What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London.
Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery.
Yes, but at least Oseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means...
that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps?
Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding.
If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself.
Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants.
No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter.
Oh?
Yes, since Oseki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems.
Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent bad trials then. Ah, just my luck.
I wonder if luck doesn't come into it.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Okay, we should be able to move downstairs now. Sholmes is sweet. 15th of April, Sholmes' suite.
Morning, Runa. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris.
Iris,
What is it, Runa?
what is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled.
Oh, yes, you noticed that, did you? Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems.
Oh. Look at him. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Good morning.
Your right limb, somebody help him. A good morning to die, perhaps.
Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence! That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me. If it's not too much trouble.
Oh, good night, Jay. Thanks for joining us. I hope to see you again next weekend. Enjoy, oh gosh, the rest of your evening, afternoon, wherever you are. I don't know where you are. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'll go with that. Oh, and welcome back, Rudy. You're just in time to see depressed Sherlock Holmes. I mean, Herlock Sholmes. Meow. Cat. 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 Cat.
Oh, look, it's Wagahai.
Good morning, boy.
No, and he's got a little bow tie like the one Natsume was wearing. Oh. That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there?
Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk.
That giant analyzing machine, yes. Well, first we're gonna examine everything. I guess the desk itself. Mr. Sholmes' desk is completely clear. Isn't that an enormous machine usually on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Miss Naruhodo.
Sholmes' energy is definitely Monday energy.
Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually.
Yes, definitely Monday energy. None of this stuff over here. Not the chair.
There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it?
It just looks messy to me, like my desk.
But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself.
No favoritism there, then. Let's see. Nothing? Nothing? Any other papers on the ground? Nope. Okay, next. Hi, Iris. Let's see. Can we examine this stuff again?
The fire's burning comfortingly in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be! It's the woman! Oh, how exciting!
Is that supposed to mean something to me? Oh ho! That was an achievement. The woman probably examined the fireplace in I'm assuming Mr. Sholmes' suite. Sholmes' suite whilst with Susato in episode 5, The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Nice. I'll take that. Let's see. Examine.
Looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. Seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Miss Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Let's see. Up here.
Here's where I'm meant to Mr. Sholm's past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be on display here.
A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Huh, what an entrancing collection!
It looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me. Rather like what's on my own shelves.
Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Miss Naruhodo.
No favoritism there at all. It's okay, we don't need to be the favorite. She's our assistant.
That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems.
Science is the future, Miss Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well.
Law, chemistry, takedown throws? What diverse skills you boast, Mrs. Sato.
As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list.
Next. The board here.
This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? The Boscombe Valley Mystery?
Oh, how intriguing! It must be the title of Iris's latest work! Oh my! What a fantastical tale awaits us!
Susan looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you can imagine.
That's good flavor. Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain.
The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? And it's the idea of hospitality behind it. That's the essence of tea.
Let's see. A typewriter. What's on today's docket? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris doing much writing recently, but there's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start.
That reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed.
Ah, yes, Mr. Natsume.
That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said,
through tightly clenched fists and teeth. Anything else? Like the shelf here? No, the cat! I can't examine the cat! I'm so disappointed. Alright, well now let's examine Iris. Well, hi.
We can talk about the cat, though. Mr. Natsume's cat's now settled into his new home, then.
Oh yes, and I've become very attached to the little Waggy.
Huh. Would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muse is empty as the hearts of the muses.
Look at him! I wish I could hide the text box. I want to see Iris holding the cat.
If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
I expect he would have taken him if he could, but pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable.
Oh, cat!
Yes, he really is. Oh, what about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You're observant, Bruno. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
Ooh, what is that?
I call it the cat's flappomat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right. It can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door doll, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, yes, maybe, but now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Alright, that was worth it just for getting to talk to Wagahai. Or, not talk to, but about Wagahai. Wanting to die.
You know what? I think this will be funny, so let's do the missing machine first.
Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today.
Ah, well done, Mr. Sato. Your observational skills do you credit.
Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale into insignificance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibank's now.
Sorry, it's at a windy bank.
No, Windibank's, the pawnbrokery.
Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours?
It has some considerable value, you see, quite undeservingly.
But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish I consulted us. If your situation had become so desperate, I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you.
It is. It doesn't sound ordinary at all.
It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works.
Oh? What's understand exactly?
How pawnbroking works.
What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbrokers of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they rent. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in the inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it up with the banks, you see.
Pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now.
And now finally wanting to die.
You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its mellifluous tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
For hours I have bowed? For days even, through the nights I've endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That's brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more recital of unbridled emotion!
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Ugh! Why is this happening to me? If they take the tone I have for the violin from me, what is left, for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction? Perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for?
Meow! Oh, what happened to Wagahai? What was that?
Wagahai?
What the fuck? Did something happen to the violin?
What was that?
Oh no! Wagahai's tangled up in your violin!
I think he thinks it's a toy. No, what's he doing to it?
Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin.
Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now.
Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley?
Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage.
Oh no, where is it? Oh my. Oh no. That's an entire string snapped, and then the varnish is completely fucked up too. And is that a oh, that's a split in the wood. Oh no. I don't know if there's any coming back from that. Dear Lord.
This is the violin, is it?
It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. I think it's actually luthier, isn't it?
Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me.
I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you.
And until today, it has been my faithful companion and every great Paganini-inspired performance I've ever made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none!
Mr. Sholmes?
What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine.
Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think?
What do you mean, Mrs. Sato?
Oh! Susie's right! Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before.
Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this?
I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all.
Then what?
I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola.
What?
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right?
You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what, pray, is this piece of strange flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then?
Oh, I see what must have happened.
You do, Iris?
This is just a simple mix-up.
It sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. Alright, and then I guess we go back over? Yes. Does this mean whoever this belonged to now has a damaged instrument? It sounds like the crack wasn't meant to be there before, so it's only the string that's really an issue. Sorry, this track wasn't meant to be there. The crack was meant to be part of the original instrument. It's just the strings that got fucked up. So Sholmes might have to pay for getting the viola restringed, but the actual damage, that's the fault of whoever originally owned that. That's their prerogative to fix, or not fix, considering it's still like that. It's quite expensive to fix any sort of stringed instrument, though, so I can see why they wouldn't. And honestly, with a crack like that, they might not even be able to fix it anymore. Because the way that violins and violas and so on and so forth work is that, like, the wood is shaped in a very particular manner in order to allow the sound inside to kind of, like, reverberate and create the tones that you expect from a stringed instrument. If anything happens to the wood that is the shell of the instrument, because it's actually hollow on the inside, so if anything happens to that wood, then it completely fucks up the noise that's being trapped and then released. And I don't know if there's a way to fix that, because it was all meant to be, like, it's molded to that shape when it's still wet wood, and then it's dried and hardened and fixed from there. The only thing I can think of is getting a completely new top layer to that, but I don't know if they'd be able to undo the other wood panels without just having to completely make a new violin. so it might not even be possible to fix. That's not something I'm not quite sure of as to how the repairing process works. I only know a little bit about the making of them. I used to play a stringed instrument myself. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin, sorry, viola, I mean, was at Winterbanks until last week. At the pawnbroker's.
Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner.
There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let the beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea!
Last week I pawned my great otoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Miss Winterbank mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber.
No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings.
A fine state of affairs this is, and I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker, they will try to fiddle you every time.
But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, pressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Winterbake's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to press your egg ever more obtusely? Alright, say no more, let's go then.
Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like.
Bacon and eggs sounds good. It's been a while since we had that, huh? Anything new to converse with now that you're not depressed? Okay, we're good. We moving. Ooh. Baker Street. And the pawnbrokery. Oh, I want to go to Baker Street first. Let's see that. Let's see here. Anything over on this side? No.
Look at all the different things in the window of the shop.
That's Winterbanks, the pawnbrokery.
It looks much smarter than a pawnbroker's in Japan, doesn't it?
Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable personally.
Reminds me of tearfully parting my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo.
You say that now, but wait until you become the victim of an ace attorney case. Maybe not the victim, but the accused. Baker Street.
It's already been 2 months since we started taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this.
Oh, I know! To actually be sharing accommodation with the world's greatest detective! If I ever find myself before a court of law now, I will have not one regret.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to defend you, of course.
Oh, I'm not the only one talking about the flags. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's ominous for her. I'm gonna get Maya'd, I guess.
Okay, it doesn't look like I can view anything else here. So, back. And let's actually move inside. The 15th of April, Winterbanks Pawnbrokery. There's so many clocks on the wall. Cool.
So this is a British pawnbrokery.
Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Susato-san, and that sparkle of wonder in your eyes? You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this.
Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes!
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging by the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh gosh, what is a good voice for you? Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our ire. Come! The fight is afoot.
Alright, firstly, examine everything. Oop, hang on. Investigate thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. I just thought something would be up here, but I guess not. Uh-oh, more shovels.
What are you doing, my dear fellows? We're not here to browse for interesting curios. We have come to teach this broker a lesson.
Oh, but there are just so many fascinating items.
As though we'll have to talk to Mr. Winterbank first before you can explore in here, Mrs. Sato.
Fine. Okay.
Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different, it has holes in it, it's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me. An inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There's only one way to make amends.
Oh god.
Who let this man have a gun? I'm sorry? That's not good for you. You're not a Persona 3 protagonist. No, don't do it. No, Rudy, no. Do not encourage him. We want him to put the gun down. No. I shall have to take my own life. I don't think that would be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes? It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe. Sorry. As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, here it is. You did. And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me! No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine. Whew. Jesus Christ.
It would appear that the fight is over?
I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Oh, well, you wouldn't be Mr. Herlock without that questionable disposition, now would you? Aha, I do believe you may be right, sir. Ah, ha, 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 ha. It's either laugh or cry, I suppose.
You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I need to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you brought through my door in the past.
Oh, peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work. The novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such.
Oh my! A new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I have yet to read, you mean?
Oh, forgive me!
Wait, before you die, you must tell me more!
Okay, now can I look around? It's the Ace Attorney way. You have to look around before talking to someone. I can't. She has her priorities right.
I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now.
Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof?
Cares about a pawnbroker who can't be the most secure place in the world. Imagine somebody has a gun to their head. They're like, I'm gonna kill myself. And you're sitting here like, wait. Before you die, tell me about this one thing. And it doesn't have anything to do with your life or not killing you or anything like that. I'm okay with you dying. Just tell me about this one specific item that you have in your collection. Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this into your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank.
For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more.
It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I'm confident it will be quite safe here. And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life! This is all very strange. I wonder, could I ask you something? Ah, a gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit. I suppose I could offer you 6 pence for it.
Oh, good night, Rudy. Need to prepare for tomorrow's work. Wish you good night and a good evening. Oh, thank you. Good luck with work tomorrow. Oh, I suppose 4th of July is on Tuesday. For anybody who is in the Americas, have a happy 4th of July if you're still with me. But for you, Rudy, I suppose good luck with work, because I'm not actually sure if you're in the Americas or not. I think your time zone ahead of me or something, right? Or is it just that your hours are flexible? I thought wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry? Aha, but for your splendid attire, ma'am. 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
How my 5 guineas, you say? How interesting.
But it feels like I've suffered some sort of defeat here.
Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard that the pawnbrokers are used rather like banks here in London. Oh yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you described. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they would pay the original sum to me, plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
What happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop. As you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all!
The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? I engineered a simple device which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in his shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank? What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are 2 just below the ceiling.
I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device.
Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Here, I have an example I can show you. 4 a.m.
Oh, there's a little doggy picture. Cute. That looks like it's a golden retriever, I think.
Ah, yes, a print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really, that's extraordinary.
Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look.
So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed.
But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam.
Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say. That would be a cruel twist of fate! I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Miss Winterbank. Surely they're anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not 1 but 2 cameras in my shop after all, which I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price. Oh, heaven help us.
Can't believe it. He developed the world's first security system and it's just as fucking expensive, huh?
Oh, now then, Mr. Sholmes, let me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank.
Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer!
I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt.
Fear not! Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet to no one but myself could possibly be harmed.
That's not really what I meant. Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank.
It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. So, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last. Yay! Examine everything.
There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn.
Ah, I see.
There's nothing of particular interest inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend any larcenous activity. Recommended or not, it's not something I tend to do. There is but one key. Mr. Winterbank keeps it in his pocket at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot which he slides under his pillow. How on earth did you know about that, Mr. Sholmes? I am a detective, sir. It is my business to know what others do not. I am frequently assailed by information that I neither care for nor wish to retain.
Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder.
And the prime suspect this pawnbroker has ever burgled.
At the very least, it should be secure, right? Looks into the camera. Right? Hey, look at this shelf here. There's the gun.
Look at that enormous ledger on the counter there.
Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts.
He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger. This revolver here. You'll not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow? Huh? I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw the weapon with a speed belying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he...
Blow his brains out, indeed, in recompense for his blunder.
Oh my. But in any case, well, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
Yep, the shovels are not examinable, so we're safe on that front. Any of the clocks? This thing here.
Look at this. What could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while?
Oh, it's a music box version of another theme, huh? That's cute. I'm gonna let it play for a bit. Okay, I think that's where it loops.
Ah, what a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
Any of the clocks up here? No. Any of these hats? No. The shelf.
What an assortment of things here! What an assortment of things there are on the shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn, or colloquially, pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in a shop for sale at a price of his choosing. Oh yes, now that you explained it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything. Of course, and by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform? Never! It embodies my student spirit. Ha! Nerd!
No, I'm not gonna show sell my school uniform. It's my school spirit. Ha 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 ha. Nerd.
That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date. Oh, yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style pay-to-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
And the doors.
3 globes of gold, is that some sort of charm?
Dear me, have you not seen that sign before? No, never. The 3 golden balls are, in Great Britain at least, the universal sign of a pawnbrokery. There are more than 700 such establishments in the capital, all showing the same sign. Oh, I see. Ah, I had not imagined your ignorance was so profound.
Oh, well, what is the significance of the 3 golden balls then? Does it have some special meaning?
That is entirely unimportant here, dear madam. Irrelevant, even. You mean you don't know?
Yep. That's a very him answer. This thing?
Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have 2 little windows for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope? Fascinating.
It's aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
Just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you'll need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it. Mr. Naruhodo, you must see! At once!
Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm trying to look at my own nose?
Oh, hey! That's the juror from, like, the first trial for Mr... What the fuck was his name? Mr. McGilded. Isn't it?
What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you can reach out and touch it. Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes have one of London's many fads. They're often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Oh.
When I was playing through it originally, I could never get the cross-eyed thing to work.
Look at this! Whatever could it be used for?
I have no idea.
Huh. There's a small catch just here, look.
We're going to open it, aren't we?
Oh my, that's amazing! It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism?
Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before. Huh? What are you two doing? What? Us? Nothing? No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. It feels as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. Oh, okay. I think I recognize that writing for the accent. Oh god, what voice did I give her? What? Only tuppence for it? That ain't fair, you know it. The article barely worth a penny missed. I cannot offer more. It's like there's an argument brewing over by the counter. Oh gosh, it was something like, "Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butt shoes at it? I've seen all I need to see, young girl! Oh, sorry, proper butcher's at it. There we go. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Oh, yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGillicud's trial 2 months ago.
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, and earns a crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses, what's commonly called a pickpocket.
Oh yes, with the grenade launcher. Look at that coat, that's cute.
Oh yeah, Gordon Bennett?
What the? Okay, sure.
Gordon Bennett, you lot!
Hello, Mrs. Strahd. I hope you've been well.
What?
You remember me then, do ya?
Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you doing in here? Down and out like the rest of us? Nothing to eat? Come to pop that black weasel, sorry, coat, have ya?
What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it? Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher. Mr. Sholmes. So you have something of value to pawn, do you? Let me just see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbeck on your behalf. Pull the other one. I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for you. As you wish, Mrs. Strahd. I will happily remove myself from your presence. He's really done it. He's gone. Oh, I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no room for negotiation here. What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? And you, go on, leave me alone.
Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Just imagining a stare down. Oh, Susato can really stand her ground when she wants to.
Whatever. Okay, I have to know. People. 17, 16. Oh, they're in the same age range, lads. Shippers on deck, let's go! That's some pretty gay behavior to suddenly back down when a cute girl is polite to you, huh? Huh? Don't you think? I understand what you are. I know what you are, Gina. Pawnbroker's customary.
Somehow I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Mrs. Strahd. Yeah, well, I am alright. I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. But that's a problem, is it? No, not at all. It's just that, well... Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase. Oh, well, I might have been thinking something along those lines.
You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright, then I'm just gonna come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people? Well, I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose. Sometimes.
You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade.
But not this time, alright? I swear, that thing belongs to me! The disc that Mr. Winterbeck is holding? Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this.
I guess we examine and then go over to him. Mrs. Straw's disc.
Mr. Winterbank, what exactly is this metal disc that Mrs. Strahd has brought in? Seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface.
Oh, this is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box. In a music box? What, you don't even know what a music box is? You ain't too savvy, eh? I know what a music box is. I just never seen one of these discs before.
The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible. Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for.
Ah, I see.
And that's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a packet of lies. Told me, did he? Said it was, well... he? Who? Never you mind, it just ain't right, that's all. That is worth good money, I know it is.
Well, then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ugh.
She's been in before, of course, this little tatterdemalion. Okay, I see. And brought some dubious article there with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm not as customer me.
So, is there something dubious about the disc she's brought in today?
Well, if only it were that simple. Sorry, what do you mean?
What she actually brought in was a storage ticket. A storage ticket, so... Mrs. Strahd has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs storing. Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious.
Article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight, but she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her. But what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Winterbank. The little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed.
Oh. What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So, what about the disc then? So how does that come into all this?
Ah, the disc is something else. A new article to pawn, if the girl and I can agree to a price. I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say.
For this heavy black coat which you returned to her cares, as I understood it.
That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as the little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady?
Ah, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Give it up! I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would. Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me? It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man! It's me old man's, ain't it? Is Miss Lestrade? Is it Miss Lestrade?
Guess this is definitely all rather suspicious. Out of my way, please. Whoever this is. Oh, hi. You look fancy and well put together.
Who's this picture postcard English gentleman? the rim. Oh my god.
Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think that's where we'll have to end it, because it is exactly 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna hit save, and the next time we'll figure out who the fuck this new guy is. With his fancy hat and cane and all that. Whew, we got through a lot today. Excellent. I'm gonna go back to the title screen. Don't save. There we go. Alright. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. I was happy to get through the 4th case. We're now in the 5th case, which means we're vastly quickly approaching new content for me. We just gotta get through most of the investigation, and then we'll be smooth sailing from there. So, I'll see you guys next weekend for more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Have a great day, guys!